You still don't know who I am? Babe, I'm a leader. A bleeder. You know, kind of like how your socks turn pink. And you wonder, well, what did that? And you kind of like it, and so you're going to keep it. I wanted to talk about the astrology right now. I mean, I think you maybe have seen the Adrienne Elise. She's pretty good, much good enough. But yeah, let's talk about the astrology because Pluto is, see, we have all the planets that have been doing retrograde and stuff, like all year, kind of like, especially Venus has gone retrograde, and then, but it's going forward now. It's not out of its shadow yet. When it starts heading out of its shadow, it starts to move over my ascendant, and there isn't anything I can do about how absolutely fucking sexy I am. Okay. I mean, I could put these weird faces on, and I could be like 25 pounds underweight. Unbelievably sexy still. Nothing I can do about it. I'm sure the neighbors are like, but anyway, hey, look. I might get a little bit on the more ripe side. I don't know. The seeds are really good for you. Getting my astrological book. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Over there. Pardon me while I get it. Ow. At least I wore a nice tuxedo. Okay, so let me get my glasses. What a pain in the ass, right? You gotta get glasses and shit. Fuck. Okay, so I got my glasses. I just wanted to look at this with us. You know, it's going into May, and yeah, look at that. We have Venus is going to get out of retrograde shadow by the 11th, and that's going to be major. But there's a thing going on with Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, which is like, if anybody's Black Moon, well, see, I live in a place where they call the rock Lily Rock for a reason. It used to be Talkless Rock, but now it's called Lily. Why? Well, here's what's up in the mountain. A lot of people come up here and they think, what's up here? What's going on up here? And what you don't know is that there are women up here, alive women. Very controversial, see, because there's an overlay too that wants the alive woman dead. You know, particularly the warlock over there, and we kind of forgive them, but after a while, you know, there's this woman, Kalima. I do relate with Kalima too. You know, just like, oh, demon, and she has her skull necklace on. She's like, you just couldn't be cool, I guess. Boring ass fucking people there are out there that they have nothing better to do than to try to disrupt your life. They can't really have your life, and so anyway, whatever. Fuck them. All right, so now let's get back to, wow, the most divine thing that's happening with Venus and Mars. It's going to start trining. It actually hits an exact, well, it's looking like it's doing a little bit of this kind of a trip. Okay, the exact trine is at 15 degrees on the 22nd. That's a magical number. The trine between Venus and Mars, it just means that the masculine and feminine inside of our bodies are going to be like musically chiming in. That's only if you are practicing the masculine and feminine principles, which what comes to my mind is sacred geometry. You know, pardon me, but I had a wisdom tooth come in. Kind of weird. When I was 44, this thing started coming in, and so the dentist didn't. Anyway, they pulled the tooth finally. You know, they put a root canal in the one that was before the wisdom tooth. They should not have done that. I didn't really know what was happening with the wisdom tooth. I didn't know, but so finally I had that one pulled out, and it's like, oh no, they didn't pull it out all the way. No, that's a wisdom tooth coming in. See, now that I'm 50, it kind of grew. It took like 4 or 5 years, and I call it my nutcracker tooth. It's way back here, and I put a nut back there and just my wisdom tooth. Hi, how are you? Thank you for your donation, which I did not receive yet. I had to go to a really good family friend up here who is a chiropractor. Her business, she's been up here for 45 years or something, as long as we can. And she sits like a queen in this fucking. But she has been so attacked, and she has a lot of insecurities, but she really respects and looks up to me, and I love her and look up to her. I knew I can count on her. See, I was not about to get all fucking weirded out with, oh my God, I gotta try to get a donation of money just to do this thing I need to do. And I'm about to learn a lot right now. Through paralegals and stuff and doing investigations on people's histories because, yeah. Anyway, getting back to letting them know, and it's just, I shouldn't do that. There's nothing that they can do. They're powerless. Who are they, Shauna? I don't know. There's lizards out there. There's rats over there. There's lizards over there. Over there is a dinosaur. That's how fucking cool I am. I'm just fighting off in these imagined things. They're certainly not ladybugs. We don't worry about those. Okay, now look, we have, hard on my money situation, see, because I have Venus in Virgo at 23, and then Jupiter is going to hit 23, Gemini, which squares my Venus, and it's like, thank God I don't worry about money, really. I don't need it much. I have my creative life, and boy, you want to stay away from relying on the system's ideals for you. With Pluto going retrograde here, and I'll show you how it looks. See how that everything. Oops, can you see it? See how that everything is clear here, except for this, right? These are the nodes, and they kind of always go retrograde and back and forth. But everything's kind of clear here. But now, boom, we have Pluto having gone retrograde now. It's kind of like Adrian Elise talks about it, but I can tell you personally how it feels because it's hitting my 369 feeling fine. No choice but to have an amazing performance. See, there's some people they could be aspected by this also that it's not exactly a good performance. Like there's a whole generation that's waking up called the Libra generation. These are the people that were born from about 1970 to about 76 or 77. I have to check when Uranus moves out of Libra, but the two planets, Pluto and Uranus, were in Libra at that time. And now it's just generational. And see, back then, there was, I hate to talk about it, but there was like women's liberation. There was like a second look at like marriages. It kind of just kind of threw it up in the air and burned the papers or whatever. Questioning, the ideal or the idea of that, how that real life partners, like say love relationships, like soulmates, but really real life love unions doesn't need marriage. That's marriage is what happens to narcissists because they couldn't find love. That's just the bottom line, man. You know, John Lennon was a Libra. It kind of rules the odd couples. Pardon me, I still have like conjunctivitis a little bit, but I've cleared up a lot of it. I'm going through rapid healing. I During my travels here, my journey, I'm learning that the body will tell you when you're right or wrong, and yeah, it's very divine if you listen to it, right? Some people might not be listening to it. I was just saying, how sexy I was, and then I have really nice legs. I don't know what to tell you. It's just they are fucking amazing. See, when I was 26, living up here, and I have always hiked around, and I've made it to the biggest waterfalls and just sat there for hours on end, days on end, years on end. I had a job. I always worked a job, really, to tell you the truth. It's just been since 4 years ago that's been weird. People have gotten weird, right? And well, we're coming back around, about everything. I'm a medicine woman, and my services were very much like that. It's like, wait a minute, I'm a medicine woman, and I also I treat you with my presence. I could do astrology, or we could just talk, or I can get out of your face and you can kick me out of your house, but you're going to call me because you like my product, okay? Well, that kind of fell through. People are jealous of the real thing, I guess, and they'll say, instead of your ice cream, I'm going to go to Baskin and Robbins over here. Watch out! Woo, that stuff is poisonous, by the way. And that's kind of what happened to good old Mary Jane. Hi, hello, how are you? The only good thing about having gone completely like inorganic and phony and shitty with everything is that, well, now the real and the live and the meaningful and the feeling is going to be coveted more. And like real live musicians playing organically will be coveted more and supported more, maybe. See, babes, we have Neptune right here. Do you see Neptune there? That little sign there? And do you see that little sign underneath? That's the Aries sign. Right there's Neptune and there's that little sign Aries. It's so cute, right? But not that you can tell that, oh, that's outright spiritual warfare happening. It is. It is. And it's always been. It's not about men and women, although there's something going on with that. Oh, it's terrible because the church hijacks people, entire nations if you want, but men are more susceptible to their mind, following their minds. Now, I've talked about this before, how that they've gotten rid of all the alive women. Jesus was a woman. And just off with her head. She has said no. She actually told us she wants it a certain way or she won't have our kids. Get rid of that. We just want to... There. Is she pregnant? Yay. No, you're fucking with a technology right there called love and the universe itself. No wonder this whole planet seems like it's on quarantine. Like nobody can see the stars or anything, and nobody ever gets out or in. It's hard to tell. It's like, what is going on here? Is a backdrop of just trapped, these miserable people who their knees are like folding in because they're not looking too good with that. I mean, what I mean is that it's just, I guess the word is heavy. We want to be light as the feather. I don't know. It's really unfortunate, but we will rearrange this. Part of me. I almost choked on my shit. We're going to rearrange it just by communication. See, it's really important to just songbird, just sing, say, and see, you can't unhear the truth. I'm pretty sure the fellow across from the psychopath over here on my road, he's an Aries. I really love his statue out there. It's this big ram, and he pointed it at my house, and I'm wondering, are you an Aries or are you just a sun in Aries? Because your real sign is the sign that was rising in the east when you were born, the very exact time of day, not where the sun was in the day. See, the time of day puts the sun somewhere in your chart, and I'm the Aries rising. See, he started waving at me after I see, he didn't really have much respect for me because I kind of we were talking in front of my driveway, and I just kind of laid it on him. I said, well, the weather is fully controlled right now, and this and that. He's like, nah. And it's like, I don't care what you say, babe. I know the truth, and I guess you don't. But you'll find it later. So no, and then when I started sticking up for the whole environment about the asphalt and really raising a stink, I can't imagine that poor guy. See, Aries are actually very sensitive people. And if they're having to like constantly headbutt a psychopath or something, they won't. After a while, they say, this is not a fight worth fighting. Get this shit out of here. And somehow exterminate that because they don't make sense at all, not even to themselves. So that's what I was saying. It's like I was wondering how he handles like that. So, but he started waving at me and nodding his head at me after the whole incident thing, right? Of the asphalt and me receiving reactive abuse over that. Which now I see that these entities who are just shaking in their boots because, first of all, they must know that they're wrong, and then second of all, I am highly feared. The alive woman, it's yeah. I'm 50 years old, and because I'm really ugly, my legs are horrible. No, I know me, babes. My story, I'll let you know in on it. There hasn't been a single man that, okay, if they're interested in me and I know they want to be my friend and they want a little bit more, and then we're going to decide maybe we'll do that. Well, the whole time, see, if they're getting close to me, their knees are knocking and hitting the ground. It's like, damn, are you okay? They're shaking in their boots. I don't know if it's fear or what. Some of it has been pure fear because I think that they know that they're kind of if they're inauthentic in their approach towards me and they really want to just kill me because they have that church fucking mentality in there that says, yeah, and let's build a business on it. Let's put a beard on her, which I just cut some hairs off of this thing. So I don't doubt that after a while, if you're stressed out like Christ Jesus, and if she was a Greek or even Italian or even, she probably grew a beard. I have a friend that's Greek up here that she has to shave her face, everything, or otherwise, she gets a 5 o'clock shadow. She has to do it every single day, because by the end of the day, she has a 5 o'clock shadow, and her legs, she's like a porcupine. Anyway, wow, what's this video about, Shauna? Oh, it's just important to go lighthearted, go light and fluffy and do your joy, which for me is to tell comedy and the most intricate parts of my life. Like, did I tell you how freaking amazing I am? What are you going to do about it, Valerie? People say, they're going to be like, see, look at the ego she has. At least I have an ego. See, this is the thing about narcissists, sociopaths, and psychos, and sadomasochists alike. I think it just depends on how they're graduated into torture. They can't. Sorry, I lost my place. They don't have a sense of humor. They can't have fun like that. Their fun is, you've heard it before, right? In the Bible, it's like, well, their up is our down. Yeah, their up is our down. Our up is their down. It's weird, and so with that energetic kind of thing going on, they are vamping on your energy. Bottom line, they. But see, what we're experiencing with the Pluto in the sign of light of Aquarius, very remarkable to think of Pluto being in Aquarius, because I'm a Plutonian person. What I mean is I have Sun conjunct Pluto conjunct Mars, and the numbers are 3, 6, 9. Feeling fine, baby. And so I don't really have any choice with that. See, it's a nuclear powerhouse. It's more like fusion. It's more like, it's just an endless reservoir of energy that I can tap. And blessed be that. See, we're going to start feeling more this energy. See, it just happened that Pluto is gone retrograde, and now it's like the flipping of the tables. Just communicate, do your research right, make sure you communicate. See, I'm obligated to tell some jokes to the neighbors anyway, but maybe later. Would you like some kiwi? Supposedly, these little seeds, if you can swallow them whole, they kill off parasites. But I like the way they crunch with my nutcracker. My eyes still kind of itch. It's just so weird having been completely beat down just for a long time now. This last 6 months with the Mars and Cancer, I keep mentioning it. It's so damaging, man. We were just like in gauze, like dog paddling, and then like all these parasites are trying to get on us and saying, yeah, and now that we're kind of coming alive and we're getting our energy back full, especially us Martian people that see, it's the part of the organism, it's our nervous system. Aries rules our very first responders, the one that says, excuse me, and then asks questions later. Like, did you get a free deal from the state on that one? And then he goes, Call the police! Well, good, because I didn't want to. You just did, and we'll find out why exactly that happened. Really, after a while, they're depending on people like me and everybody else. Really, you know, there's two types of people here on this plane. There's the human being, and then there's a non-human entity. Now, the human being is the one that has a conscience. And the human being is the one that says, well, I am out of hand. Maybe I am the cancer. Maybe it's like, no. See, that's what they want. They want. See, I'm not an isolated incident with anything going on. The entire fucking Earth is lighting up, and you want to call. You want to know what you want to know what it's called. It's spiritual warfare. We haven't had Neptune reset into Aries, which Aries is a very spiritual sign, and so is Neptune. Neptune rules spirituality. I say that there's going to be people opening up services that are very much like the sign of the times. It's like, well, let's open up pardon me. This cough that comes up every once in a while. I was like, oh God, have mercy. I'm getting rid of it. What I was saying is that there's going to be fixtures and efforts and just gatherings and businesses opening up saying, do you want a different version of life? Or do you want to keep doing the poisonous crap over there that is just, I don't know if you've noticed it, but it is so old and boring and not right or not even real and it's fake. And so my message to the people on my street is that you better undo yourselves. Undo yourself. I wish you the most stress and anxiety that comes to you personally. Maybe you get diarrhea and step on a nail or something because you stop undoing the environment because of your inability to undo your ego. You stop undoing the environment and you stop trying to undo me. Yeah, all we have to do now is see, we might have to communicate more. There's a lot in the air though, right? With the T-square, with the Lily, the Black Moon Lilith woman who's like, excuse me, but you know what you got to do. You don't do that? Oh, well, bye. We don't have your kid then. We don't repeat. You don't have sex with men that don't know how to please a woman and that just wants to have your kid and rides on top of you and says, I'm the boss and I'm the breadwinner. It's like, no, actually, we're the bread makers. And what happened to the farm out there? Growing fake shit? I thought I was going to question this guy that did the asphalt. It's like, I kind of look at the woman. It's not a woman, baby. He has a fucking slave there. I'm sorry. See, there is a thing in the United States where the men, and these poor women, they come from Vietnam or Vietnam, they're Vietnamese or they're Chinese, and they think, oh, it's the American dream. I'm going to go there, and oh my God, I could find a husband that's American, and he's going to be like a Leonardo DiCaprio guy. But no, to her worst nightmare, he's installed with the warlock shit like this. It's just going on around the world. It's just he has her as a slave. Oh, just does laundry and cooks, and they don't really have a very good relationship. No, not really. No, he's not. She is not protecting him. Nothing. I wonder, like, who's that woman that allowed that asphalt to come down? If you're an alive woman, which is just you have your nervous system going, you're the protector. You stop the man from overworking and doing useless things with pesticides and all that stuff. And she kind of tests the quality first and says yay or nay about it. If he's really intelligent, he actually asks her, should we do this, dear, or not? She looks and says, no, that particular asphalt is made of carcinogens. Worse than any fucking doctored up shit that they are doing in the city. It was a hit of terrorism, environmental terrorism, and it's like, you can just kind of see it. But I'm excited about getting rid of it. Yeah, it could be getting rid of. We could just bring a big scooping tractor and go, and somebody has to pay. the state will, they will. You can trace it back to the fucking enemy, the warlord or whatever hit the place and say, shame on you. It can happen. It can happen. A couple years, they just gotta build a case up more. It's like, okay. So wish us all luck that we're kind of we're not we see I'm my own great grandmother's granddaughter, and I love her so much. I remember when she was fighting this case, and I wasn't living here at the time. I had 3 jobs, and I was living somewhere else on the mountain. And I visited her, and she was in the middle of this case, and she was like grabbing onto my window and talking to me, and I'm like, what up, and she's like telling me about the case, and then she goes, and they can't do that. They cannot do that. And this woman is like, well, she was probably 75 at the time, or 79 or something. She made it to 89 years old, and yeah, she won that case. But I remember looking at this woman, and she's like timeless, though. She just has this warrior spirit, like of about 14 years old. What I mean is kind of like the rebellion, like she's a Sagittarius. Hi, Nancy. And so she just has this like rebellion in there that says, no, because the information is like this and I can do it like this. And we've always done it in the history shows and geology shows, and fuck your 2 + 2 is 5. So, but anyway, there's a lot that I have within me that I need to be able to channel. And I've been stifled down, and it's like, God, I hope that we could just communicate now. Just start keep up with the communications. Because what I have found about the English alphabet and the standard there is profound. It is very real. Yeah. What's the design? What is it for, Shauna? What do you mean? It's designed to simplify the perception. Oh, I can hardly explain to you what it reveals. I can't. But basically, it's to reduce down Babylon and just say, no, basically that there's just men and women here, right? That's one of the main subject matters that kind of comes up. See, we have a Scorpio moon coming up that has to do with sex. It's at 22 degrees. What I mean is the full moon. See, we have, it used to be that the Mars ruled Scorpio, and that has to do with sex. I mean, everybody knows that Scorpio's like doing the sexual organs over there, but really, they don't have anything on Aries, because that's the original Mars ruler there. When they finally ruled by Mars, which is sex, just raw, just instinctual, you know. Scorpio is doing some kind of manipulative stuff that it gets kind of underground, but no, it's pretty powerful. But anyway, they are ruled by Pluto ever since Pluto was discovered. So, but now we have this full moon. I'm just thinking with you right now. And it has to do with these issues of the sexes. It's just weird, like of the power of, really, it's not like the battle of men and women. No, it's about our bodies and how powerful we are or not because of, well, yeah, let's just point at the Roman Catholic Church over there, circumcising men for how long now? Woo! How about you, Mr. Crapper? Are you a circumcised guy? I have a feeling that yeah, no, see, these people that were born, well, that have turned 60, they're about 62 now, they're getting over their second Saturn return. Pisces people, I have not met any Pisces person that wasn't just so fucking wrapped up in their karma. They've had it so fucking bad. The control system has rendered them up like so thin-skinned. I mean, they are short of, well, Saturn takes away from whatever it hits, and when it's in Pisces, which is the spiritual soup, it's salt water. It's supposed to be very spiritual, but when you have Saturn there, oh, throw that out the window. You have been abused by the church over there that probably give you a fake sense of that. Or what do? You're holding up the British flag or something, and the cross thing. The cross it means you're dead. Some people are just doing that to themselves. If they wear a cross on their neck, it's like, babe, do you realize that you're wearing a fucking? It's just like, a, well, in modern day, it would be an electric chair for capital punishment. Just hold an electric chair there, and you're like, yay. No. See, the real symbol for Christ and aware and knowing and tapping into the goodness where we can smile and have a great time, unlike the sociopaths and those people that are miserable. The fish. The fish. You just, yeah, I know. It's everlasting grace, right? Don't let them know. Anyway, hey, how are you doing? I should get some sleep. Thank you for listening. I'm going to be posting this on Friday. Come here. But I'm making this on Cinco de Mayo. Here it is. It's 5/5/225. See, this is a very auspicious time, and I need to clean my eye now. I need to clean both my eyes. I just sterilized my things. I wish I can receive a donation from people that get my address right. Me, that I have to get my address right, right? And also see, yeah, so that's a little bit of concentration. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to change my, well, I just changed my description. At the very end, it says my, if you read through my whole stupid spiel on my, I'll try to, I should rewrite everything and kind of refresh it. And I should start making playlists more better. But I always done things kind of raw and unique to me the way, and I do not answer to any other system. I just do it my way. And they try to, like they offer me right here, like, would you like 3 months of no commercials? And I'm like, no. Why do you have to ask? Just do it, all right? I just ignore them. I ignore all the requests that they want me to do, and they listen to me now because of that. Author. I'm the authority. Boy, talk about that. See, oh gosh, my eyes are starting to hurt me. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys later, all right? Bye-bye. Oh, look, it's 32. I'll leave it a little bit open. I'm beginning to see that this illness that they gave me contracted, it's especially designed that if you're interacting with your technology, it's going to make you sicker. It's going to make you feel it, right? I mean, I don't know. The lights are all bad for us anyway, and so I do have the conjunctivitis that I've gotten on top of it. I'm just happy to be feeling a little bit better. And then, of course, the Aries in my body is just like, yay, come on, And it's like, no, 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 no. Slow down. Keep eating. Keep trickling it in. So I thank you for the donations that you will be making, because I'm going to put a massive cover on this particular video that says, this is my Cash App address, the correct one. See, I think my PayPal has the wrong address. Anyway, love you a lot, and you know who you are when I'm talking about you, babes. I feel it when there's people that are actually there with love.